So I know that I'm a little bit late tonight, and sorry about that. I um I got distracted. I had things to do, but I'm here for another Bible reading for this 40 days and 40 nights of reading the Torah, the first five books of the Bible, the writings of Moses, and I'm on night three, so I'm reading around 7 o'clock in the morning, give or take half an hour or so, and 7 o'clock at night, give or take half an hour or so. And I am currently reading chapter 18. I am reading from Sword of the Spirit. In this version of the Bible, the sacred name is spelt with Paleo Hebrew letters, and the names are pronounced out in Paleo Hebrew pronunciation. So, anyway, a little bit about myself is I wrote the book God's Master Plan for the Masses, and also a God's Master Plan for Salvation. I don't have that with me, but you can find links to these books in the description box. My name is Wendy, and yeah, I wrote those books, and they have some good information. So what I'm doing is I am reading for the next 40 days. I'm on night three, 40 days and 40 nights of marathon reading through the Torah. So let's go ahead and start in chapter 17. I've already read through the creation, and I've already read through um, through the fall of man and the flood and Babel, and um, right now, and God's covenant to Abraham, his promises to Abraham, and I am currently, and he's already had his son through his handmaid, his wife's handmaid, and I'm currently reading um, chapter 18 through I think 20. So let's go ahead and get started. If you don't mind, please go ahead and click the like button. It helps people, uh, get this information. Hello, Kenneth. Thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate it. Um, so a little bit about this is, let's see what you got to say. Uh, how is your life going? Oh, my life is my life is chaotic. But anyway, so I am going to be reading a little bit um, in the Bible, and chapter 18 uh, through 20. And the purpose of this marathon is to for the 40 days and 40 nights is because to help lay a foundation. It's the Torah. It's the foundation of the Bible, the foundation of Judeo-Christian faith, and really it should be the foundation of people's lives, the lessons that are taught in it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and begin. Thank you for saying I'm beautiful. I appreciate that. Let me go ahead and begin. So, if you have any questions, um, they feel free to put it in the little chat box, and I will try to answer the questions when I get to them. Okay, and once I get through the chapter, so I'm going to read one chapter, answer questions, move on to the next chapter, and we'll do that for the next three chapters. Again, the names are pronounced in Paleo Hebrew, so they're going to be a little bit different than what you're used to. All right, chapter 18. And Yehua appeared to him in the plain of Mamre, and he sat at the tent door because of the heat of the day. Then he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, three mortals stood near him. And when he saw, he ran to meet them from the tent door. Then he bowed himself toward the ground, and he said, Adonai, Now, if I have found favor in your sight, pass not away from your servant, I pray you. Allow a little water to be fetched, I pray you, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. Also I will fetch a morsel of bread. Therefore comfort your hearts, after which you will pass on. Thus you will have come to your servant. And they said, do this like you spoke. Then Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarai, and said, quick, make ready 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth. Furthermore Abraham ran to the herd. Then he fetched a good and tender calf. Also he gave it to a young man, and he hastened him to prepare it. Therefore he took butter and milk and the calf which he had prepared, and set it before them. Then he stood by them under a tree, and they ate. Then he asked him, where is Sarah, your wife? And he answered, behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return to you according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah, your wife, will have a son. However, Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now now Abraham and Sarah were old, well stricken in age. The manner of woman ceased to be with Sarah. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am old, will I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? Then Yahweh asked Abraham, why did Sarah laugh, saying, truly I bear a child when I am old? Is anything too hard for Yahweh? At the time appointed I will return to you according to the time of life, and Sarah will have a son. However, Sarah denied, saying, I did not laugh, because she was afraid. Then he said, no, but you did laugh. Then the mortals arose from there, and towards Sedum, and looked towards Sedum, and Adam went with them to bring them on the way. And Yahweh inquired, should I hide from Abraham that which I am doing? For surely Abraham will become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth will be blessed by him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they will keep the way of Yahweh, to do justice and judgment, that Yahweh may bring upon Abraham that which he spoke, that which he has spoken of him. Therefore Yahweh said, because the cry of Sodom and Amorah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down and see whether they have done according to all that has been cried of it, which has come to me, and if not, I will know. Then the mortals turned their face from there, and went toward Sedum. Still yet Abraham stood before Yahweh. Therefore Abraham drew near and asked, will you also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Perhaps there are 50 righteous in the city. Will you also destroy, and not spare the place for the 50 righteous who are in it? That be far from you to do according to this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous will be as the wicked? That be far from you. Will not the judge of the whole earth do right? And Yahweh answered, if I find 50 righteous in Sedum within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sake. So Abraham answered and said, behold now, I have taken upon myself to speak to Adonai, which I am but dust and ashes. Perhaps the righteous lack 5. Will you destroy all the city because of 5? Then he replied, If I find 45, I will not destroy it. And he spoke to him yet again and asked, Perhaps there will be 40 there. Then he replied, I will not do it for the sake of 40. And he said, Oh, let not Adonai be angry, and I will speak. Perhaps there will be 30 found. Then he replied, I will not do it if I find 30. And he said, Behold now, I have taken upon myself to speak to Adonai. Perhaps there will be 20 found there. Then he replied, I will not destroy it for the sake of 20. And he said, Oh, let not Adonai be angry, and I will speak but once more. Perhaps 10 will be found there. Then he replied, I will not destroy it for the sake of 10. Thus Yahweh left as soon as he had finished communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for posting your comments. I really appreciate it. Be sure to hit the like button. And also, if you haven't done so, please subscribe. I am doing a 40-day and 40-night marathon on reading the Torah in with Paleo Hebrew name pronunciations. So we are currently on night 3. I will be doing this around 7 o'clock in the morning and around 7 o'clock in the evening, give or take half an hour or so. All right. So if you have any questions, oh, hello, Kenneth. I appreciate you. Thank you for saying hi. I appreciate you. Um, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and discuss this a little bit. I am using Paleo Hebrew names, and there is one thing that is in this translation of the Bible that's different than most. I use, it says that there were 3 mortals who stood by him. So this is letting us know that God and 2 other angelic beings, they came in flesh, all right? Flesh, okay? They weren't spirit. So they weren't apparitions or anything like that. They were flesh. And a lot of Bibles don't go into that description, but Sword of the Spirit does, because that's what's actually in the Bible. It just wasn't translated that way. Now, that's kind of a strange thing to imagine that God would come in flesh and bone, but he did, and this is expressed in this chapter. Now, I had mentioned previously that Isaac, Yitzhak is how you would pronounce that in Paleo Hebrew. Isaac, his name means laughter. I said that in the last reading. And in this one, we see why. Because it created a lot of laughter that these 2 old people, Abraham was 99 at the time, and Sarah was 90, and that they would have a child at that age was laughable, and so that's how Isaac got his name. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and move into chapter 19. And for those who have just popped in, I'm letting you know that this reading has reconstructed Paleo Hebrew names, so they're going to sound a little different than what you're used to. The Tetragrammaton, which most people know as the Lord in English translated Bibles, I actually pronounce it by the name of Yehweh. Okay, so here in chapter 19, let's go ahead. Oh, so before I move on, in chapter 18, God told Abraham and his wife that they were going to have a kid, and then they started discussing the judgment that was going to fall upon um, Saddam, okay, which is Sodom, Sedum, okay, it's Sodom. And it's because they were going to go and see if there was really evil and wickedness there. And um, Abraham tried to do intercession for the people so that God would not destroy them. And he went all the way down. He weaseled it down. If just 10 people were righteous there, would you save the cities? And God said he would for 10. And we're going to see how many people were actually saved. All right. There weren't 10 righteous. So let's move forward into chapter 19. Chapter 19. And the two angels came to Sedum in the evening, and Luth sat in the gate of Sedum. Then Luth saw them, and he arose to meet them, and he bowed his face towards the ground. Then he said, My lords, behold now, turn towards the house of your servant, I pray you, and tarry all night, and wash your feet. Then you will rise up early and go on your way. But they said, No, for we will abide in the street all night. However, he pressed upon them greatly. Therefore they turned towards him and entered into his house. Then he made them a feast and baked unleavened bread. So they ate. But before they lay down, um, the mortals of Sedum encompassed around the house, both young and old, all the people from every quarter. Then he called to Luth and asked, Where are the mortals who came to you this night? Bring them out to us, that we may know them. So Luth went out at the door towards them, and the door was shut behind him. Then he said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold now, I have two daughters who have not known a man. I pray you, allow me to bring them out to you, and do to them as is good in your eyes. Only do not speak to these mortals, for they came under the shadow of my roof. But they said, Stand back. Then they said again, Has this one come to sojourn, or will he be a judge? Now we will deal worse with you than with them. Then they pressed sorely upon the man Luth, and they came near to break in the door. But the mortals put forth their hands and pulled Luth towards them into the house, and the door was shut. Then they struck the mortals who were at the door of the house with blindness, both great and small, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the mortals asked Luth, Who else do you have here? Bring them out of this place, sons-in-law, and your sons, and your daughters, and whoever you have in the city. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them has waxed great before the face of he who exists, and he who exists has sent us to destroy it. Therefore Luth went out and spoke to his son-in-laws, who married his daughters, and said, Get up, get out of this place, For he who exists will destroy this city. But he seemed like a mocker to his sons-in-law. And when the morning arose, then the angels hast- then the angels hastened Luth, saying, "Arise, take your wife and your two daughters, who are here, lest you are consumed in the iniquity of the city." And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his two daughters, by the mercy of Yahweh towards him. Then they brought him forth, and set him outside of the city. And it came to pass when he brought them out abroad, then he said, "Escape for your life, look not behind you, nor remain in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest you are consumed." And Luth said to them, "Oh, not so, Adonai. Behold now, your servant has found grace in your sight, and you have magnified your mercy, which you have shown to me in saving my life. But I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil overtake me, and I die. Behold now, there is a city near to flee to, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape there. It is not a little one. Is it not a little one? And my soul will live." Thus he replied to them, "Behold, I have carried your present. Also concerning this word, I will not destroy the city which you have spoken. Hasten yourself, escape there, for I am not able to do anything until you arrive there." Thus the name of the city was Zoar. Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Luth entered into Zoar. Then Yahweh rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah fire and brimstone from Yahweh, from out of the heavens. And he withdrew those cities, and he overthrew those cities, and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. However, his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Furthermore, Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before Yahweh, and he looked towards Sodom and Gomorrah, towards all the land of the plain, and he saw and beheld the smoke of the country going up like the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when Elohim destroyed the cities of the plain, that Elohim remembered Abraham. Thus he sent Luth out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Luth dwelt. Then Luth went up out of Sohar, and dwelt in the mountain, and his two daughters were with him, for he feared to dwell in Sohar. Thus he dwelt in the cave, he and his two daughters. Therefore the firstborn said to the younger, "Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drunk with wine, and we will lie with him, so that we may preserve the seed of our father." Therefore they made their father drunk with wine that night. And the firstborn went in and laid with her father. However, he did not perceive when she laid down nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said to her younger, "Behold, last night I laid with my father. Let us make him drunk with wine this night also. Then you go in and lay with him, so that we may preserve the seed of our father." Then they made their father drunk with wine that night also. And the younger arose and laid with him. But he did not perceive when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus both of the daughters of Luth were with child by their father. And the firstborn bore a son and called his name Moab, from my father. And the same is the father of Moab until today. And the younger also she bore a son, and she called his name Ben Benami, son of my people. The same is the father of the children of Amen. The same is the father of the children of Amun until today. All right. Those names are kind of hard to pronounce. Hey, thank you everyone for showing up. If you don't mind, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it. And also, you can, if you don't mind, go ahead and subscribe. I'm doing this marathon for the sake of raising my subscriptions. When I get done with the marathon, I am going to do other types of videos. All right. Um, so I am reading in Paleo Hebrew, and um, that is why the names sound a little bit different. And so we just read how the Almighty God, he had came to Abraham in the form with flesh. All right, it was very clear he was flesh in chapter 18. Here in chapter 19, when they talk about Yahweh bringing fire and brimstone down into the earth from the heavens, clearly he's not flesh and bone in that instance. So it shows us that God can take fleshly form and also a heavenly presence. So he did not come as an apparition. Okay, he was flesh and bone. He was not ghost. All right. Um, and we, the father Luth is the nephew of Abraham, and his daughters thought that they were the last people on earth, and so they slept with him. They got him drunk and slept with him because they thought that it was the end of the whole world. They didn't really realize it was just that area. So I'm going to go ahead and read um, chapter 18, chapter 21, and then I will be done for tonight. Again, I want to thank you for checking in and hitting the like button. I really appreciate it for hanging out with me during this read. If you have any questions, be sure to just post it in the chat box. If you're watching this on the rewind, if you're watching a rerun of it, go ahead and post a comment, and I'll try to answer any questions. Okay, so here we are in chapter 20 of the book of Genesis. Chapter 20. And Abraham journeyed from there towards the southern territory, and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur. Then he sojourned in Gerar. Therefore Abraham said to Sarai his wife, She is my sister. Then Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarai. Therefore Elohim came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, you are a dead man, because of the woman who you have taken, for she is a man's wife. But Abimelech did not come near her, and he asked Adonai, Will you slay a righteous nation also? Didn't he say to me, She is my sister? And she, even she herself said, He is my brother. With the integrity of my heart and innocence of my hands I have done this. Then Elohim said to him in a dream, Yes, I know that you did this with the integrity of your heart. For I also withheld you from sinning against me. Therefore I did not suffer you to touch her. Now restore the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not restore, know that you will surely die, you and all that is yours. Therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants, and he told all these things in their ears. And the men were very afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham and asked him, "What have you done to us? And how have I offended you, such that you have brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? You have done deeds to me that ought not to have been done." Then Abimelech asked of Abraham, "What say you that you have done this thing?" Therefore Abraham answered, "Because I thought, surely the fear of Elohim is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. Therefore indeed she is my sister. Moreover, indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And she became my wife. And it came to pass when Elohim caused me to wander from my father's house, I said to her, This is your kindness which you will show to me. At each place that we go, say of me, He is my brother." Then Abimelech took sheep and oxen and men servants and maid servants and gave them to Abraham, and he restored Sarah his wife unto him. Also Abimelech said, "Behold, my land is before you. Dwell there, dwell where it pleases you." Furthermore, he said to Sarah, "Behold, I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Indeed, he is an eye covering for you from, from all who are with you and all others." Thus she was reproved. Then Abraham prayed to Elohim. Therefore Elohim killed Abimelech and his wife and his maidservants. Thus they bore children. For surely Yahweh had closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, the wife of Abraham. Okay, so that is what I'm going to read today. So this is the second time that Abraham tricked a king. Okay, the second time that he tricked a king that his wife was his sister. And here we find out that she actually was his sister. All right, this is the only time in the canonical Bible you're going to find out about that. That yes, she was his half sister. All right, and so let me see. Is there anything else? If you have any questions, be sure to ask in the chat box, or you can ask me questions in the comment section. I will try to get to them. But that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back tomorrow morning around 7 to do the next passage. And in it, Shara is going to have her baby, and probably go through the Abraham's testing also. Again, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.